travel nursing jobs and would lock myself in the bathroom because I was having an anxiety attack. Like, it was so bad. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. We are continuing. I am not in my original setting because I'm waiting for my friend to hit me up. Let me turn this music down. I'm waiting for my friend to hit me up because her mom had passed and the funeral and stuff was today. But I had to work, so I told her I would come like right after. So I'm waiting for her. But silly me, I forgot to tell her to send me her house address. So I know like the effect this is having on her. So I don't want to like blow up her phone. I want to give her time to like collect herself, especially since I know she's running everything right now. So I'm waiting for her to hit me up. So forgive me if I keep looking down. Waiting for like her text or call. So this would be, what month are we in? We are in December. So typically it's been 8 months since my mom died, right? And her mom passed the beginning of December. Yeah, the beginning of December. And yeah, y'all, I'm just waiting for her. But I thought, like, since in the meantime I have my camera, I might as well continue with the series. So today is day 2 of my series of 14 reasons why you should not commit suicide. So today would be day 2, or aka the second reason you should not commit suicide. But like I said, I'm going based off of questions that I saw people commonly ask off of Google. Excuse the cops, there's things going on. The second question that I saw commonly asked about grief and death was, one of the questions was, does the death of a parent cause trauma? The answer, hell freaking yes. Trauma can come in different forms, different types. Trauma can come in waves. Okay, let me explain why. So for me, when my mom had passed away, I had different episodes of trauma. Some of these I have not even told my therapist yet. Y'all, I had to go to therapy. Trauma. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all all the things that me and my therapist do, just to like kind of like ease my mind. But yes, the answer is it does cause trauma. The death of a parent does cause trauma. I had different types of trauma. So I remember the first type of trauma that I had. Remember when I told you guys that nobody had called me when my mom had passed? She died on the 3rd. I didn't find out until the 4th, right? One of my issues was that I immediately went into not trusting people. So I remember like when she had passed away and I was not notified right away, and I had to figure it out myself and do a whole bunch of research and try to figure out what happened. I remember I immediately went into like not trusting anyone, like, because if people could drop the ball on the fact of letting me know that my mom had died, people are evil as hell. Now that's what was going through my head. So I automatically like went into, I don't trust nobody, right? So what did that mean for me? Like, anybody that irritated me during the time of me mourning my mom, even up to now, if you said anything shady about me and I found out about it, if you were acting funny towards me in any way, shape, or form, you were getting cut off. You were getting your number blocked. You could not call me. You couldn't text me. Nothing at all. Because if people could, in my mind, if people could drop the ball of not letting me know that my mom died and just try to shove it under the rug and move on, and then try to go into the fact that, you know, oh, it was a sweet old lady that killed your mom, you know, and she didn't meet it. And then when I go into the details of define sweet old lady, and then the person said, oh, it was a 60-year-old lady. And I said, my mom was 60 years old as well. Age is not, it's not a factor. So they're both 60 years old. Remove the age. Now what? Right? And then there was nothing else that person could say. That person meaning the cop. Right? Woo. We're not even going to touch on that. That's a whole nother, that's going to be in another episode. That was one type of trauma that I had. My second type of trauma was, if you are like me and you like to watch a bunch of horror movies, when my mom passed away, I could not watch any horror movies. When she passed away, I would be in the house and I would literally be thinking about the different ways that my mom's body could show up in my head randomly. Right? Because of all of the horror movies that I used to watch on a regular basis. So when I told my therapist this, she was like, oh God. And I was like, I know. And I used to sit there in front of her and I used to cry. And I was like, I do not want to envision my mom like I see in these bad horror movies. And she was like, I know. And she was like, we're going to work on that. So we started working on that. I remember there would be times I would be taking showers and I would think in my mind, like, my mom is about to open the shower curtain and I'm going to see her body the way that it was on the road. Like, bad. So, we had to work on that. Now, typically, my trauma for that situation of me envisioning her, I don't think it would have been that bad if the funeral parlor guy did not tell me how my mom's body was, right? What am I trying to say? So when it was time for my uncles to go and view her body, because they were in complete denial as well. They were like, Dana, we cannot believe this happened. How could you formulate in your mind that something that your mom does every morning, meaning something that she does as a form of exercise, like just going to take a walk, could kill her on the road, and her body was left on the road, on pavement, right? And not only that, her death certificate says from blunt force trauma. And then when my uncles were trying to go and what you call it, like, because it was just not sinking in that this was happening. So they were like, no, we have to go and see, we got to go and see Carmen. We got to go see her body. And then the funeral parlor was like, okay, I understand you guys want to see her, but I didn't want to see, because I was like, I cannot remember my mother in that way. But my uncle's like, we have to go see. So he was like, okay, listen, I need you guys to sign a disclosure. And you guys are signing the fact that you guys are okay viewing her body in this state. So I was like, what state? And he goes, well, her skull is open. So I was like, so now I'm home, right, at times, and I'm envisioning her body like on the floor, her skull is open. It's just trauma. Yes, you can definitely have trauma from the death of a parent. That was my second type of trauma. Trauma. It's the same to me. The third type of trauma that I had was, if you know me, you know I'm a big kid. Like, I have a ton of teddy bears in my house. I usually get the teddy bears because my boyfriend wins them for me when we go on trips, or we do like little parks or whatever, and then he'll like win me a teddy bear, right? So I have a ton of teddy bears in my house. Don't judge me, mind your business. But I talk about that in my book, where I talk about embracing your inner child, because I feel like when you shut her up, I'm talking about me, I feel like when you shut up your inner child, you're kind of more at risk for being unhappy more than the average person, right? Anyway, back to the teddy bears. So I have a ton of teddy bears in my house, and I remember a lot of the times I would make my bed in the mornings before I either go to work or before like going to the gym. I'm not gonna lie, I don't make it all the time when it's time for me to go to work, but like for some reason when it's time for me to go to the gym, like I always make my bed. So I would make my bed in the mornings, and then like let's say I'm making a bed and one of the teddy bears like happened to like fall I would start crying, or I would freak out, and I'll be like, oh my God, no. And then I would switch the teddy bear upright, right? Because in my head, it reminded me of my mother being struck on the road. So it was a whole mental thing. So I'm telling my therapist, and my therapist is like, baby girl, we got so much work to do. And I'm like, I know. And she's like, but I need you to understand, like, none of this is your fault. Like, you didn't kill your mother. You didn't, allow your mother to end up on the street. So she's like, we have a lot of work to do, but the first thing we have to do is to try to get that mindset of your mother's final disposition out of you. So there's that. The fourth trauma, sleep. Sleep. Oh, let me tell you, my fourth trauma is the sleeping, right? So when I found out that my mom had died, right, the day after she died, which was the day that I found out that she died, which to me was day one, right? Rewind if you don't understand what I just said. So that day that I found out that she passed away, I didn't sleep for 3 days straight. And I didn't sleep for 3 days straight because I was in so much shock, right? And what was going through my head was, if I go to sleep, I'm going to be tortured in my sleep. Why was I thinking that? I was thinking that because I was like, the first thing I'm going to see is my mother in my dreams. And I'm going to envision her in that bad state in my dreams. So the first 3 days, I did not sleep at all. I didn't sleep not a wink. I would go out and take care of my stepfather that was in the hospital. They were hit together. So he was here. She was here. They were hit, right? She died on impact, and he ended up all the way on the other side of the street. Broken bones everywhere. So those first 3 days was me going back and forth to the hospital, West Palm Beach, driving an hour there, hour back, trying to find him health insurance, because coincidentally, we're not gonna talk about that part. Coincidentally, his health insurance ran out the same day that my mom died. And I was like, God, what is happening? Remember when I told you guys in the beginning, I was like, why is everything happening so fast, and why does nothing make sense, and what the fuck is happening? I was like, what the fuck? How could his insurance expire the same day that my mom passes away? It doesn't make sense. What? So now I had to spend the second day looking for insurance for him, for the doctors to be able to have something to go off of, right? Going back and forth for him. Getting my family set up at my mother's house, because she had like a big house to put everybody in. So I was like, it makes no sense for everybody to sleep at my house. Everybody should sleep at my mom's house, because it's closer to the hospital to go see my stepfather, and we have to pick a funeral home, funeral parlor. It was a whole thing. So those first 3 days, I did not sleep. Then when my uncle, he found a way to get to me. He was like, look, baby girl, I'm coming to you, because you're doing all this by yourself, and then on top of that, you're not sleeping. And I was like, because uncle, I'm afraid to sleep. And he was like, I understand. He was like, I understand. So he was like, I'm coming to you right now. So he came to me on the end of day 3. When he came, I slept for maybe like 2 hours, and then I jolted myself awake, and it was just terrible. I want to say I didn't get proper sleep until like a week later. And even then, it was still bad. Even to this day, we're 8 months in, I still don't sleep properly. What does that mean? So, and I told my therapist, my trauma, this is the fourth one. My boyfriend sleeps over like 6 days out of the week, because he does have his own place. So he has to like go back to his own place, regroup, do laundry and everything, clean up, and then he comes right back to me and does like the other 6 days. So that one day that he's gone, I'm sleeping alone, right? When I tell y'all, I don't sleep in my bed that one day that he's gone. I sleep on the couch, and the TV needs to be playing and gospel music needs to be on in order for me to sleep. to this day. It's been 8 months. The only time I sleep in my bed is when my boyfriend is there, and then we both sleep in my bed. Right? But other than that, not happening. The other times when he does sleep with me, he sleeps over at the house. When that happens, he has to wake up at like 4:35 in the morning to be able to make it to work. So he'll shower, meal prep, all that stuff. While he's showering and meal prepping, I'm asleep. The minute he comes to kiss me on my cheek to let me know that he's leaving and he's closing the door, I'm up, right? And I will not go back to sleep. Or if I do go back to sleep, I go on the couch to sleep. I told my therapist, that girl was like, yeah, we still got a lot of work to do. So and then she's like, but I'm here for you. Like, you can come in. She's like, I want you to start coming in twice a week, which I started doing. It was so bad. Like, it's still bad to this day. We're still working on it. One of the therapies that she did with me that worked so well was removing the image of my mother on the street with a broken skull, open skull, from my mind, right? So we did something called flash therapy. So what that means is you replace the bad image with something that made you super happy and that you accomplished. And what you do is you flutter your eyelids at her count, and then she'll point back to a happy moment that made you proud of yourself. And then the image that you're trying to get rid of, all of a sudden, just like, it doesn't matter anymore. And it worked so well for me. So like now I don't get the bad images of like seeing my mom on the road. I don't get those. I don't get the bad images of like her skull open no more. None of that. So yes, the death of a parent does cause trauma. But really and truly, like, it's a process. I had to go to therapy. If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. Nobody's stopping you from going to therapy. Everybody thinks that in order to go to therapy, you need to be crazy. No, you just need to be broken. Okay? Go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Nobody's telling you that therapy is a bad thing. Me right now, like, I don't take medications, but I do have friends that take medications that also go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with medications. It's just that my therapist, like, she's seeing the way that I cope with things, and because I've been consistent with her, like, she's like, you don't need medications. You just need a different way of thinking. You just need to understand more of who God is to you, because you're struggling with the abandonment that your mom left. You need to be able to, like, have a different mindset with how things happened. But she already told me, she was like, you don't need medication. You just need to be consistent with coming here, and me helping you change, like, how your mind works. We want to change it for the better and not for the worse. My therapist, she's a heavy Christian, so she puts Bible verses in any and everything that she does. She asked me first if she can do that, because she was like, I have a feeling that you're a Christian, but are you okay with during our therapy sessions if I give you Bible scriptures? And I said, absolutely. Because she said some of her clients don't want Bible scriptures, this, that, and the third. So, yeah, y'all, those are my traumas that I have had with my mom passing. And yes, you definitely can have trauma when your parent does pass away. So the second reason why you should not commit suicide is because your loved one that has passed away, they do not want you to hold on to that trauma. They do not want you to all of a sudden not be able to sleep, not be able to think clear, not be able to do the things that make you happy. They want you to be happy, right? Trauma is not a part of your DNA. A part of our DNA is love. God made us to love ourselves, love others. Trauma is not a part of that DNA. So that is the reason why you should not commit suicide. Okay. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Bye.